Welcome to The Pathway. Today we're in 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 15. As Drew shared with us, this is the will of God. Like you ever wonder, what's God's will? Here's one of the places. Romans tells us God's will is to conform us or shape us into the image of Jesus. Here in Peter it says the will of God is that the way we live our life, by doing good, you may put to silence the ignorance of foolish men. And as free, you're free in Christ, don't use your liberty as a cloak for vice. Then he goes on to talk about what we mentioned last week as well, honoring all people, loving the brotherhood, and fearing God, and honoring the king. Then some really challenging words about submission, like submission to masters, people who are indentured servants or even slaves in the Roman Empire, that they could win their masters and win people watching by how they submitted to those in authority over them. To which I don't know about you, but I feel a tension there. Like when I look at the pathway, it says, what was challenging, encouraging, or raised a question for you in this passage? For me, I thought Christians didn't believe in slavery. We don't. I thought Christians thought everyone's made in God's image. We do. I thought Christians thought that humans owning other humans was morally vile. We do. Then why is he telling servants to submit to their masters? Well, they're living in a culture, the Roman culture, where they were the marginalized, they were the powerless. And they said, we can't change the Roman government. Right? They're the ones in charge. And anyone who tries to change the caste system of the Roman government from the top down gets obliterated. The only thing we can do is life by life influence the people around us. So if you're a master, treat people well. In fact, even the book of Philemon is going to say, hey, the master becomes a Christian, let your slaves go. No more of this Christians owning Christians. However, that's individual people deciding to use their freedom to do God's work. However, if you're a slave, then the law of the land currently was that you were in this caste system where you had a master. Therefore, show your master, the people around you, that you love God by how you do good to them. You can feel the tension though, can't you? What advice do you give people who live in a culture where they can't change the biggest problems? On the other hand, that doesn't mean you endorse the structure that's there. But ultimately, by not being a rebellious citizenship, the Christians were able to keep Rome, allowing them to be a relatively free religion, eventually, keep influencing people for Christ, including centurions, and then eventually enough people became followers of Jesus that they began to advocate for certain laws, advocate for certain ways, and they end up transforming the Roman government, not like another country, top down, battling their way and revolutionaries, but from the bottom up, changing the hearts of individuals and people and governors and kings, which actually might explain why Paul used the strategy that he used. Paul said, I'm going to appeal to Caesar. He wanted to go to the top of the stack within Rome in a legal way and try and petition the emperor to make Christianity legal, to stop the killing, to stop the torturing of people. So certainly Paul was even trying to work within the system to make just laws that squared with the just law of God. But also for those who are just ordinary citizens, he's saying, here's how you win people to Christ. Well, in the pathway, one more thing, dig deeper. This passage is easier said than done. Why is it important for Christ followers to apply these principles and teachings still today? Consider your attitude toward 1, political leaders, 2, people with authority over you in the workplace, 3, your family members, and 4, people you interact with at church. Man, we do not like to submit. But submission comes from 2 words. Submit, to be subordinate to the mission. What did Peter say and Drew say is our primary mission? To love other people the way Christ loved us. Everything else we do submits to the mission of that. Hope you enjoy our study today in 1 Peter.